Hey, we're Damn the Wolves. I'm Jody.
I'm Brett.
And I'm Rick.
And you're listening to Now That's What I Call Damn Good Music,
The podcast.
Today we're talking about the debut studio album by American rock band Pearl Jam. This is 10. Recorded at London Bridge in Seattle and Ridge Farm in Surrey between March and June of 1991. Do you know who this is produced by, you two?
No idea.
Yes. Oh no, the name's gone from the top of my head.
Same name as you fool.
Yeah, well, no, it's Rick
Parisher.
Parisher, that's it.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
who actually founded London Bridge Studios in Seattle, where it was recorded. His production credits include Alice in Chains, Blind Melon.
Oh, yeah, No Rain. Love that song.
Yeah, Nickelback, amongst many others. This was released on the 27th of August 1991 on Epic Records. Let's go for the multi-million-dollar question. How many copies do you think this has sold?
20 million worldwide, 17 million worldwide, 20.
12 million.
Ooh, well, the last official statistic I could find was it sold over 13 million.
Oh,
So it's somewhere between that and I
It
don't know.
sold over 13 million in the US alone, I think. See, I know my stats on this one.
You do.
I've forgotten the producer's second name.
Should we put out there a bore warning that Rick is a big Pearl Jam fan?
I'm already yawning. I haven't even started.
I've only said 4 words.
A yawn warning.
Brilliant.
Yeah, that's brilliant. So, this was a big album. This was a big album, and kind of it really did kind of start, or it was instrumental in moving the grunge kind of movement in the early 1990s, wasn't it? Do you agree?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you know it sold more than Nevermind in the first couple of years? I believe.
Did it?
I think so. Yeah.
This was a slow burner, though, wasn't it? It wasn't an instant success. It took sort of a year to 2 years to really kind of catapult and get
not
big.
quite that long, but it wasn't an instant. Yeah. Unlike Versus, their second album, when that came out, that broke records in the first week for how many it sold.
See, I've got a bit of a problem with this album.
Oh, hang on.
No, not with the album, just with what we're talking about and the time and the era. And it's because we've got some real close associates to us, our friends that are big, massive fans of this album and the band, the same as you guys, right? So I feel a bit like I'm not worthy, because when this album and when it started to grow, I lived in Spain for a while. I might mention this before, but I moved to Spain like a big sort of rock fan, and I played in a country and western band in Spain for a year.
Was it around this time? Were you?
Yeah, like 92, 93.
I don't remember this coming out. So
the problem is,
how were you in Spain when you were about 3?
What?
In a country and western band?
So I played in a country and western band in Spain for a year, and I came back a Dolly Parton fan.
What?
And it's not.
You've mentioned Dolly before.
I know. I've worked 9 to 5 ever since.
Boom. He's here all week.
Yeah.
But it's I miss this era, and what I'm saying is, I feel there's massive Pearl Jams fans.
Yeah, you're not even sure if it's one Pearl Jam or several bands, are you?
Lots of Pearl Jams. So I do love them, and I've given this a good listen. But I was.
It doesn't matter if you weren't there from the start. We weren't there from the start.
No, I wasn't there right at the start.
I've become a fan since.
Yeah, that's all right.
Okay, that's good.
We forgive you for that.
We also know you're scared of our friend and colleague Ian's.
Yes, and he wanted to be in my seat for this, I think, and he should really be in my seat.
No, it's because
we can call you.
Call me Ian's.
Call you Ian's.
Yeah. Yes.
Right. Let's without further ado, let's get stuck in, shall we?
Okay.
Track 1.
Oh, can we talk about why the album's called 10? Because
if you want
I don't think you know this, Jody, and it's something that I know. Go on. Do you know it?
No. I was going to ask where you were when you first heard something.
Oh, go on. Let's stick to form.
Well, let's go back to Brett. Where were you, Brett, when you first heard?
Dreaming of Dolly in Spain.
Like a week ago.
Probably.
Was it a week ago?
It wasn't a week ago.
Let's do this.
No, it wasn't a week ago. Probably like sort of mid late 90s when I was back. And
do you remember what you heard?
Probably something like Alive. I would have thought something like that, maybe.
Okay. Rick, where were you? What were you doing?
I can't really remember.
What song?
I don't. It would have been Alive or Jeremy or even Flo. And it was our cousin Dan, who I'm going to give a shout out to, because you're going to see him. He's going to be prolific in the comments with everything we get wrong in this. This
is why I'm keeping my gob shut.
I'm deliberately going to get things wrong so that we just, get the comments flying in. Just all for engagement. From now on, I didn't mean to get that wrong. So it would have been via him. I think I was starting to get into music, and he was a bit older, so looked up to him, and he kept on about Pearl Jam. I remember him having the tab book for this album, and the songs being on. I remember he had like MTV. It was on and it's because he was that bit older as well. I remember thinking and just being blown away by the sound of it. So it would have been via him. I don't remember specifically the song when or where. Probably in his house.
Mine was Alive. I saw the video to Alive, which is a live video, I believe.
Yes.
On Raw Power or Noisy Mothers, as it was.
Oh,
and I think it was the last song that was playing over the credits, which, you know, at the time, was it 1991? There was a lot of the kind of 80s bands were still clinging on for dear life, weren't they? So at the time, that program was kind of predominantly Def Leppard, Bon Jovi, Aerosmith, and I remember this song Alive being on at the end, thinking, this is a bit different, this is a bit good, but
it's the famous black and white live video, isn't it?
That's
where Eddie Vedder
right,
goes climbing up on something,
as
he was prone to doing at that time.
He fell off a few times, didn't he?
I don't know. He did go up a huge heights at several times.
Yeah, it was it's kind of his thing, wasn't it? The festivals. Yeah. Okay, let's get stuck in. Track 1, Once.
Yeah, I didn't do where the album title comes from.
Oh, we were trying to avoid that, weren't we, Brett? Thought we got away with it then. Go on then.
Come on.
Make it quick.
Mookie Blaylock was a baseball player, and that was their band name before they named it Pearl Jam. So they were named after the baseball player, and his shirt number was 10. So when they changed the band name to Pearl Jam, they kept as a reference to him. And the first albums, CDs, because famously Eddie Vedder wasn't allowed to have LPs made by the record company to start with, came with a baseball card of him. His baseball card was in the in the CD or the cassette.
Oh, no way.
Cool.
So yeah, there you go. Right, I did it quickly though.
Yeah, you did very good. Well done.
Track 1, Once.
Oh, hang on.
He's gonna replicate the percussion, isn't he?
Oh,
do you know what I think?
Hang on a minute.
Can I do this? Because I'm quite excited by this riff. That intro where that guitar comes in, wow, love that.
It does, but that's not the start of the album. That's not the first thing you hear.
No, but I couldn't wait to play that.
Brett, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts when you're going to laugh at me. You're going to go, what are you like you do about me a lot? But this is how my brain works. When I heard the start intro of this song, you know, Money by
Pink Floyd. Yep.
You know all that stuff that goes on.
What the cash registers?
Yeah. It reminds me of this.
Oh well.
The percussion if you listen to
what percussion can we hear? Shout them out. What can you hear?
I don't know, some sort of bells of some sort. And is there cabasa?
There's probably a cabasa. Yeah. Can you always hear a cabasa, Brett? The intro is called Master Slave. Did you know? That's what that
piece of
music is called, Master Slave, and it appears at the end of the album.
It
as
does.
well, doesn't it?
Okay, so and then it kicks into that absolutely visceral sounding guitar riff.
Amazing riff. Would you like to hear it?
No, we've done that. It melts your face, doesn't it? That sound when it comes in. It's a great
Stone Gossard. And it's at that moment I still find that exciting when that guitar comes in. For me that's yes.
Okay, what are we hearing on that guitar then? What sort of we're
hearing. I don't know. It's just a great. I reckon it's a Les Paul with probably a Marshall or something like that. A great sounding Marshall. That's what I'm going to say it is. I don't really know.
Is that why? Yeah. I know you're going to probably tell me off for this.
You're going to say classic rock.
Yeah. You see, I think this album, as a piece of work, has 1 foot in the classic rock group.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, genre. That's the word.
I agree. And I think if we're speaking overall about it, it's the twin guitar thing, and it's separated into a lead and rhythm thing. Mike McCready's very much the lead guitar player, and Stone Gossard's very much rhythm. Yeah. And often it's a Strat and Les Paul sound, which is very... And Mike McCready, I think, is who brings the classic rock element to it. His soloing is very, very blues rock, pentatonic based. There's a lot of Jimi Hendrix in his playing, but there's a lot of... I can hear Aerosmith. I can hear all of that sort of 70s classic rock stuff coming through with the twin guitar thing. But I think that's a really good.
Nowhere is that more evident than in the verses of this song when it breaks down.
Do you think?
Yeah. Because if you really focus with headphones, and it drops down, doesn't it? And then Eddie comes in, and you've got the interplay between the two guitars.
But that's throughout the whole album.
It is, but that's what I mean. It's evident from the get-go that
I think that's quite that because it's a Phrygian mode that riff is based over.
Yeah, you were saying that, Brad, weren't you?
Yeah, I know.
I thought frigid something or other.
So that to me isn't classic rock. That was used a lot in sort of the grungy era metal bands. You love that sound. But it's I'm not sure that is as classic rock that bit, and it's that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that. Okay.
It just for me listening back and then listening to it as a piece of work, because quite often as we all do these days, we only listen to the odd song. We don't tend to listen to albums in their entirety that often. Mm-hmm. Which is why we love doing this podcast, because we get to listen to it as a piece of work, which is the way it should be. Uh-huh. It kind of like it sets the tone for the album with those guitars.
The wah solo in it and things, again, the use of wah is very classic rock, isn't it?
Yes, and with the obviously the Slash kind of what? Slash had made used the wah a lot, didn't he? It'd been
used before him.
I know that, but
your guitar reference is Slash. It's Slash and Richie. That's it, isn't it? It's like having GB in the room.
Can we talk about the overall sound, the reverb? And I mean, when the band comes in, I think it's almost ahead of its time when you think about when it was recorded. I think sounds like a band to me. It sounds. I love the production. But we discussed this, and was there some sort of thingy about the amount of reverb that was put on this album?
Brendan O'Brien remixed it, didn't he? Is it 2008, 2009? It was re-released and remixed.
See, I think
the whole album. Have you listened to that?
I haven't listened to it. No.
Jody?
Yes. Sorry, I have. Yep.
And
I've heard the original and the new one.
Is it night and day different?
Yeah. And it's weird. Brendan O'Brien's mix sounds like modern day Pearl Jam, and it sounds great, but I find it hard in that it's so iconic, the amount of reverb and space around the band. And
it's part of the sound, isn't it?
And
it was the album.
I think it was so different. I think it's really different. The other grunge bands weren't quite as... it's a very unique sound, and when you get used to that, it's very hard to. You can't correct it, can you? You can't change it. That's part of the vibe.
I think I said to you guys, I was listening to the latest Pearl Jam album recently, and it's just I don't know. I just couldn't connect with it because it sounded so almost processed and just lost that life that this album has. I love it. I love the production.
This was recorded within 2.5, 3 weeks or something. So it is very.
It was recorded over the course of. Longer than that, wasn't it? It was like between March and June.
I'm sure they went in.
Obviously, that wasn't full on.
But that's
10-hour days every day. But
that's another comment I've got about it. They sound like a band playing.
Oh yeah,
it sounds like not a jammy band, but a band that's definitely. Not too.
To me, I mean, the whole album just sounds that they're a band with, and each individual member has loads of ideas.
Yeah,
and you can hear so much personality in there.
Yep.
What you're saying about the classic rock, Mike McCready in the mix with the two guitars. It's balanced brilliantly by the fact the drums aren't overly classic rock at times. Eddie Vedder, obviously, out of this world. And Jeff Ament's bass playing is not...
his bass playing is insane.
But he's unique, isn't he? His sound is unique. Yeah. His playing is unique. His approach, his writing is unique. He's brilliant.
He's brilliant.
They're all brilliant.
Let's just take a minute, shall we? Because we're going to go on and on about Eddie's voice and how good it is. But from the first "I admit it" line, it's the tone, the power, the control, the grit, the uniqueness, the timbre is just.
What's a word?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It's like timbre, but not
like
timbre.
Tone. It's like tone, texture, tone.
Yeah. And I remember reading one reviewer referring to Eddie as having passionate commitment to his delivery.
Oh yeah.
And I thought, that kind of sums him up. He's so unique.
He's all in, isn't he?
Mm. Yeah.
I won't, because I will go on and on about Eddie's. I love Eddie's voice. I love Eddie. I've said it.
We do.
Crikey.
I love him.
Jeez, all right, Rick. Lord.
He's getting murmurings in the trouser department. We need to move on swiftly here.
No, it's not a sexual thing. It's deeper than that.
Oh my lord. Let's move on.
Let's move on. Anyway, so back to once.
Let's talk about Eddie's. I thought we were talking about Eddie's voice. Can we talk about how Eddie joined the band and why he's on this album and how long the band's been going?
No, because...
And can we talk about the original singer and Mother Love Bone?
No, maybe
Andrew Wood. I just want to get all this in.
You can make a special edition podcast for this.
Hear the grunge coming out.
Hits the chorus, doesn't it? As soon as it hits the chorus, really strong chorus melody, the movement of the chords underneath it.
Can I talk about that?
Yep.
This is great. You know the intro riff I played a minute ago? Yep. So that's going on through the chorus, but below it, the other guitar's going... Nice. two guitars together just create such a cool movement of that harmony.
Yeah. Really, really strong chorus. It's a really strong opening track, isn't it?
Yes.
In the second verse, at 1 minute 44 seconds, you know what I like from times. Can either of you hear a woman's voice moaning or something going on in the
someone
background?
saying, "You've left the cooker on"? Because I haven't heard it.
Did you hear it, Brett?
No, I didn't.
I'm beginning to wonder what was going on outside of my headphones now when I was listening back.
No, I've never noticed that.
Never noticed.
All right, go back and listen. 1 minute 44. There's something going on, unless it was somebody that was doing something
Ian's
else.
will be able to tell us. I suspect
Maybe-
he'll.
Yeah,
maybe it was
in
a-
and tell us.
Eddie, your tea's ready.
I've got to take a minute just to mention the groove that in the verse and how it goes into the chorus and that push. I do this push snare drum thing a lot, and you go, "Oh, don't do that push snare drum." But this is iconic. Why I love the groove in this verse with that push snare.
So what you mean by that, like doong ga doong?
Yeah.
Can you play what you mean? Just
I can play it if you want me to.
not really.
You
But
Have you cranked your snare up nice and high, Brett? Oh, hang on a minute. Oh, just,
2, 3, 4.
okay, I get it.
And then it goes to the chorus where that push drops. That groove. I can't tell you how much.
So by dropping the push, it opens up.
It opens up.
It opens it up.
And the band open up. The sounds open up, and then it just takes you to a different place.
while
Why?
we're in a drum area, my favourite bit of drumming on the whole album is in this.
Which
Okay.
bit?
It's the snare, just the snare hit. I don't know what he does different. Maybe it's a song just before he starts singing Backstreet Lover, where it goes, gang, just hits that snare, and the band pick up in that first verse.
Is it Backstreet Lover?
What did I say?
You said Backstreet. Is it Backstreet? I can remember it was
Oh
Backstreet.
no, I've got. Oh, you might be right.
Because I
And he calls
I've
himself
got-
a fan.
for years I always listened to this and I always had Walk This Way Aerosmith in my mind, which is
What did you say?
God.
I think it's Backstreet.
Backstroke Lover.
Backstreet is what I think it is. What did I
all
say?
sorts of things coming out here this
There's all
morning.
sorts of backseat.
Euphemisms.
What did I say?
Euphemisms?
I said Backstreet, right?
It's not a word, is it?
What have you said?
Euphemisms.
No.
Oh no. What's the word?
Euphemism.
Yes, it.
Euphemism. You're thinking of euthanasia, which is something else totally.
Oh dear.
Sorry,
Brett.
don't start me going.
You got your PH and your TH muddled up
I
again,
did.
Brett.
And you
Yeah. You're silly.
Euthanism.
No. PH. Euphemism.
Euphemism.
Oof. Crack on, sorry.
Okay.
We have got a long way into this podcast before Brett's got a word muddled up.
The bit you were talking about there,
It is
there's
Backstreet Lover. I
yeah.
was right.
Yeah. No, I was
Okay.
just checking. It was Backstroke Lover is the one that always comes into my head because of the
That's in
Aerosmith.
Run DMC's Aerosmith
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Aerosmith Sports Way. isn't it?
Yeah. The bit you're talking about, there's a delay on the vocal that at 152 that leads into that really nicely. So you get that delay note, and then Backstreet Lover, like he really picks
Street.
up Backstreet.
Yeah.
Oh, good job! I'm not in a Pearl Jam tribute.
Now
band.
you're
I think
thinking
the
of
words.
Gaslight Anthem, aren't you?
Yeah, brilliant.
Um,
But the way Eddie picks up the rhythm on the vocals in that section is really, really cool.
But it's it's the snare that does it for me. That snare. When you hear that snare hit,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's a really cool fill, isn't it? Going in
Yeah.
after
Yeah,
that bit that
yeah.
goes into the second chorus. Yeah,
So
awesome.
there's some great playing. He's a great drummer on this. That's like you said earlier. He's
Dave
not
Cruson.
Cruson. He's
Dave
not
Cruson.
your average classic rock
yeah,
drummer
but
of the era, but
that
he-
makes it though, doesn't it?
it does make it because he just puts this personality that some great.
You know,
playing, great
before we
playing.
started this, and you two told me not to rein it in about just talking about Pearl Jam or their history or
Yeah,
boring
anyway,
people
moving on.
overly. Well, I haven't come out with it yet. Can we talk about drummers a little bit? Because that's interesting, isn't it, Brett?
Well, yeah,
'Cause
as long
Pearl
as it's
Jam have had a
interesting
bit
for
of a-
people listening, but
Spinal Tap thing with drummers, haven't they? So
Mhm.
can we talk about Dave Cruson, who was on this album?
yeah.
But he didn't do anything after this album. He recorded the album.
Did he tour it?
No.
Ooh,
They brought in Matt Chamberlain after this
why?
because Dave Cruson had an alcohol problem. And so he stopped and he puts leaving the band down to saving his life.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
So he sorted himself out. Matt Chamberlain come in and he's the one you see in a live video. So fans never knew at that point, apparently, because I was into him a little bit later, that Matt Chamberlain wasn't the drummer on the album. You didn't know. You didn't see images like you do plastered across social media.
So and then wasn't it Dave Abruzzi that was on
Yep.
the Unplugged?
Yep, he
Which
was
followed this
brought in
album.
by Unplugged, and he stayed with them through the next album, or two,
Versus.
didn't he? Yeah, but he that all went wrong because of the Ticketmaster thing, and he didn't like the band's reluctance to
Did he work for Ticketmaster?
No, he didn't like that they refused to tour, or they were going to tour small places, or the band's reluctance to do videos or to play the game or be as big as they possibly could. They were all about the art, and he was not. He just wanted the band to be massive,
which is quite funny. Oh, we're not here to talk about Pearl Jam and Ticketmaster. I'm not going to bring it up.
I have. Don't worry.
We're not going to talk about the price of their tickets for their.
Oh yeah, the irony now is
the irony of it
that you have to sort of sell a part of your house to go and see it.
Even Ian's is having a bit of a meltdown about going and see the old Pearl Jams, isn't he, for the price?
Right, let's get back to Once. Come on.
And that was it. And do you know, before, one more thing about drummers, then I'll stop talking about drummers. Jack Irons handed the original tape that Stone Gossard and Jeff Ament had done demos of after their original band Mother Love Bone, the singer died and all that, to Jack Irons to try and get him to join the band as a drummer, which he didn't, but he passed it on to Eddie Vedder, who was a singer, because they also said,
right.
Do you know any singers? He said, I know this guy in San Diego, works in a petrol station, surfer guy, and passed it on to him, and he sent a demo back of famously this song, Alive, and another song called
Because
Footsteps.
a lot of these songs were instrumentals, weren't they? Instrumental jams before Eddie came on the scene.
But the other guy that recorded the demos before Eddie came in and before they had Dave Crewson was Matt Cameron.
Crikey, there's going to be a test on this at the end.
Wow.
No, it's not that. No. But I just think it's interesting, that whole scene.
Yeah, it's a little...
Matt Cameron was there, and now obviously he's their drummer now. He recorded their initial demos before Dave Crewson, before they had a drummer in the band. Mad, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep. The drumming in the outro is awesome.
Oh yeah, it's really sad that he's probably my favourite drummer out of their history, to be fair.
Really?
This album.
David Brucey's the one, the fan sort of...
I must admit, I do love his the Unplugged. Some of his work on Unplugged is brilliant, David Brucey.
I've got one more thing to say about David Brucey, and then I'll stop talking about drummers, okay?
Yep.
That when he was asked to join the band, or when he was going to do it, or played it by... I can't remember who was it that got him involved. Anyway, he got the little Pearl Jam man, you know, the little tattooed on him before he joined the band. That's commitment, isn't it?
Wow.
He loved it that much. He's like, gonna get that tattooed.
Can we move on?
We better do.
Can I talk about the lyrics?
Yeah.
Do you know what it's about, Brett?
No.
So Once is so this song Alive and a song called Footsteps, which later, anyway, it's not on the album, so I won't
It was
talk
a
about
B-side.
I'm not going to talk about it. It's not on the
Jeremy.
album. Were 3 songs written as a mini rock opera by Eddie over the music that he was sent on this demo tape. And was it called Mama San? These 3 songs, and it was about, so Alive started it off lyrically about an incestuous, inappropriate relationship between a son and his mother after he finds out his dad wasn't his real dad, it was his stepfather. And after losing his dad, his mother keeps seeing similarities in her son. It's really twisted, really messed up. And because of that, he becomes a serial killer. And so, Once is the serial killer talking about once I could control myself. Once I was...
Wow.
Yeah.
Deep, isn't it?
Dark stuff, man.
Isn't it?
My favourite vocal moment on Once is the first chorus, and it is that line, I can't control myself.
No,
there's some sort of... whatever's going on in his brain when he's singing that is... It really comes out in the speakers.
Yeah,
okay.
Things like I got a bomb in my temple that's going to explode. I got a 16 gauge buried under my clothes. I play, man. If you're looking for it at that time, and for me, talking about this time and you were talking about the 80s bands and stuff. The integrity and depth that was in this stuff for me.
Yeah, it is. But I don't. What was the problem with "Talk Dirty to Me" by Poison? Well, we all knew where we were with that.
Oh my lord, Rick! Back on these euphemisms again.
Didn't Bret Michaels write that as a different sort of trilogy rock opera?
Yes,
it's a very different rock opera.
Yeah, that was.
And again, this is Eddie Vedder's Love of the Who, isn't it? Quadrophenia and Tommy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, you can hear his influence from the Who all over this. Over it. Okay, track 2, Even Flow.
Love it.
What a brilliant intro. What a great riff.
What a swaggering groove this is, isn't it?
And the best thing about that riff is when the riff ends and holds and the bass hits the harmonics.
Oh, yes.
There's space leading to the verse when you get that,
that drum fill.
It's brilliant.
So what is really... so many things. I'm going to just pick on things that I think are really cool. I'm going to play it on the guitar because I can't trust myself not to sing it right. The interval that Eddie sings and... is a really unusual interval, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's a tritone. That's a really unusual interval to make a hook out of in the verse.
But the hook is not only the note choice; it's his tone on that freezing. You know,
Yeah, so
the
you've
way
got-
he's really pushing that vocal fry.
But where does the interval and that tone come from? I don't think it's so unique, so different.
But it stays
And
on the same chord for the chorus, for the verse, right?
Yeah, it's all based over in Mixed Lydian. Would you like to hear it, Brett? That sort of thing.
Great riff, riff.
Sort of a bluesy Mixed Lydian, D Mixed Lydian vibe.
Sounds like Slash.
What?
Great riff.
And the chorus is brilliant as well. The whole thing's absolutely brilliant. It was the second single.
Yep, second single. Eddie's tone in this, I know we've mentioned it, but his tone and his phrasing.
It's that hook, isn't it? It's just addictive. It's just like two, three notes. Just
and that shift into the chorus where is really, really good.
Would you like me to like a personal note, which misheard lyrics?
Yeah.
Up until very embarrassing recently,
Oh no!
I was missing a lyric in this.
Oh no!
Because you two calling me a Pearl Jam geek.
well, I'm beginning to wonder. You have got. Go on.
I thought he said when he sings "Oh Dark Grin," "Happy Looks Insane." I saw "Girlfriend." He sung "Girlfriend." You two get that one?
No.
No.
Both of you. I've lost you both already, haven't I?
Uh huh.
So the lyric. Do you know the bit in the song I mean?
Yeah.
When he goes, he can have because he's happy, looks insane. Or,
Yeah.
When he's happy, looks insane.
You
I
thought
thought
it was
he's
girlfriend.
Girlfriend, he can't help when he's happy, looks insane. But it's not. It's "Oh Dark Grin."
Yeah,
Close.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got that wrong.
you did.
Would you like some geeky stuff about this song? Nope. It was they recorded this 50 to
I was gonna have a sip
70
of me squash
times.
a minute.
50 to 70 takes of this they did.
Really? What of the?
The rest of the songs came together really quickly.
How did they record? How did they record?
Well, they were recording as a band, trying to get the basic
it's got to
tracks
be as a
down.
band, isn't it?
And then kept some of
And
the
the tempo fluctuations, which there's so many over this album,
That's
which
what
are
I
great.
love about it.
But Dave Crewson couldn't get this right. They couldn't get the feel right. They were really unhappy with it. Stone Gossard was never happy with the recording of it, even though it was take 71 or whatever. They didn't feel like they got the groove right. They just didn't, which they did. They didn't feel it. So it was they re-recorded it and redid it for the soundtrack of Singles, the
No
famous
way.
Cameron
Yeah,
Crowe film
yeah.
that they were in.
It is a hard. I can understand to capture this.
They re-recorded it with
feel.
Dave Abruzzi for the Singles
Okay.
soundtrack.
He's got a good feel.
I love
He's got a good feel.
that there's fluctuations. I mean, there's stuff later on, like Alive and Jeremy, where I
Yeah.
love the fact that it moves a tempo.
But it doesn't. At no point does it sound disjointed
No.
or you feel like it's just
I know.
It might have in the previous 70 takes. Who knows?
Well,
Yeah, maybe.
But but the rest of them came together quite fast. This song, they couldn't get it to groove.
Favorite vocal moment?
All of it.
All of it.
all of it.
All of it. What is just brilliant.
Mhm.
Okay, track 3.
Oh, hang on a minute. I've got a bit of a game for you two today. You know, you do this, Jodie, with like I don't know. You did one recently. It was so memorable, I've forgotten it.
Yeah.
But this is the most streamed Pearl Jam song, Even Flow.
Yep.
Now, you know Pearl Jam. Some of us are big Pearl Jam fans, and what has helped build such a big, dedicated, loyal fan base is their live shows.
Yes, they don't play the same set.
This is where I'm going with this. They rarely play the same set. In fact,
And
if
sometimes
ever.
don't play the big songs.
Exactly. This is where I'm going with this. This is the most played Pearl Jam song live, Even Flow.
Is it?
Wow.
So would you like to, I'm going to ask you about each song as we go through to take a rough guess on where it's, in the rating, how.
So you got some
So we've done
statistics.
once. Have a rough guess where that rates, like 1 to however many hundreds of songs Pearl Jam have written. Number 1 is Even Flow. It's played more than any other Pearl Jam song.
Once is going to be somewhere in the middle.
What do you reckon?
I don't know, because I don't know how many songs they've got.
What? Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds.
76.
Okay, nice.
54.
17. There we go.
There we go.
Wow.
So once was 17, Even Flow
Okay.
1. Can I keep this game going, or is
If
it
you
going
want
to be
to,
boring?
yeah, no, that's
Alright.
fine. Let's move on. Track 3, Alive. So as you mentioned, this is the part of the trilogy. So lyrically, this is a dark song,
Very
isn't it? So it's the mum telling the son who he believed was his dad wasn't his dad.
Yeah.
But his real dad had actually died 2 weeks prior to her telling him.
Oh my
So
god!
th- so that's-
my
so
brain
he'd
can
never
work
get
that
to
out.
meet
So
his
the eye character that is proper twisted. This is a twisted tale. Yeah. But what I really liked about this is, as a casual. Stop. Oh, I can't talk.
As a casual listener,
yeah, this song sounds like it's kind of upbeat, doesn't it? And that I'm still alive. It's kind of like it's a positive,
and that's what I think is interesting about music, isn't it? Because as a casual, I'm doing it now. Casual listener,
what have I got here?
You're rubbing off on us, Brett, in the wrong way.
Crikey.
Don't encourage him to rub off. Right, we're going to when we
like
he's going, he's doing it.
I think I might be wrong about this. I'm sure I'll be corrected in any comments or whatever. But that sort of thing, Eddie Vedder wasn't a fan of that, but has since come to embrace that when they sing that live, it takes on a new meaning.
That's where I was going
every time they play it. Oh, sorry.
That's
ruined your story.
No. But you're right. As a listener, you kind of felt this was uplifting, and Eddie Vedder always struggled with that.
Yeah.
But he's since come to realise that actually hearing a crowd sing it back, and I think the way he referred to it was he felt like the curse had been lifted from the character, which I thought was brilliant.
Quite cool.
I thought it was really cool.
Yeah. Would you like to hear? I think this is a great riff. I'm gonna hang on. Yeah, I'm in the wrong tuning here.
Nice to hear some acoustic guitar in this, Brett, wasn't it?
Yes.
Got your snares on, Brett?
Yeah, I'll turn them off now.
Thanks for that. Right.
Would
you like to hear the riff?
Buzzing.
Yeah. What a riff. And the whole it's great. And the shift in the chorus, and this is classic rock chord sequence, isn't it?
Yeah. The way Eddie's singing over it makes it so unclassic.
And it comes out and goes.
Yeah. The thing I love about that chorus, the thing that makes the chorus for me, is Jeff Ament's bass line from the 12th,
the bass playing,
the 12th fret on the E string. So we'll hit that high octave E, so it goes boo, but then he hits the low open E.
Very tasteful.
Oh, it's just lovely. Yeah, really classy.
He sneaks in some harmonics, doesn't he, at the start of the verse in this as well?
Yeah,
which is always a joy.
If you listen to this album and just listen to the bass, he's doing so much stuff. That just the interplay between him and the vocal and picking up on melodies is just it's real.
And for me, that's what makes them a great band. Is the personalities. Yeah, that it's not just about Eddie Vedder and a band behind him. Each of them brings so much to it, and there's so much personality.
Yeah. So the movement of this song, the way it goes into the musical section, the phrasing in the middle section, the bit that you were just playing, that is really, really cool. And then leads to that brilliant outro.
With it goes to double time. And the tempo really shifts, doesn't it? But it works so well.
Yeah. I'd love to know
Would you like to hear the rest of the solo? No? Okay.
No.
All right.
I'd love to know how many takes they did of this song, because it must be in a room where they're all playing together.
Yeah.
With the tempo at the end, Brett, like you were saying, is brilliant, isn't it?
But they're all following it. They're all together.
Mm-hmm.
And is that not what I think this song, all of this album, but this song partly encapsulates what is amazing about a band and putting 5 personalities and people in a room to write that you can't do.
The right people at the right time.
So
without that.
And there's so much taken away now in music where how it's recorded, isn't it?
Yeah,
with your digital and your clicks and everything else.
Best bit of the song?
I don't know. I was just saying about the intro.
All of it for me.
Go on.
No,
I was saying about the intro, how that guitar intro, and when the band comes in, as soon as the band comes in and the drums come in, the tempo shifts, but in a way that you don't think, oh, what's he doing? It just blends and works. It's just a natural feel where he's like, no, I think the song should be at this tempo, and you kind of, but it just, everyone just follows, and very nice, very clever.
Best bit of the song? Bass bend right at the end.
Oh, yeah.
It's really good. It's awesome. And my vocal moment, whole of the second verse. Here's the fragility in the way he sings that.
I'm ready for you.
But it's fragile that then turns into anger, like all in the space of the verse.
If you really think about the lyrics, that is probably the creepiest part of the song as well.
It is, but the way he gets that across as the singer, the narrator, is brilliant. Track 4, Why Go?
I was going to ask what you thought of the guitar solo at the end. What you two thought? Just good. Oh, Brett?
Good.
Yeah, good.
Oh. Do you know it was once voted number 44 in the greatest guitar solos ever?
Well, there's a good. What's your statistic on this one then?
Yes, it's this. This is obviously the first single. Where do you think it's
top 10? And it's got to be what, like
6?
8?
You're not far out. 2. It's the second most played song ever. Is it a good game? Is this a good game? Am I boring?
Good game. Yeah.
Is that Bruce Forsyth?
Yeah.
Do you win a bet for getting Bruce Forsyth into a podcast about Pearl Jam?
Good game. Yeah. I'm loving it. Keep it going, Ricky boy. Loving it.
Higher than a 5, isn't it?
Oh, you should have brought some cards.
Track 4. Why go?
I don't know.
Why go? Let's stuff the talk about the chat. Let's go for the number. What number was it?
Wait, what number? What number do you think Why Go is? How often have they played on?
66.
Yeah, I'm going to go for 23.
12th most played song
Well,
live.
we're shooting a bit high, Brett.
We are.
Well, you're shooting a bit low if you think about it. It's the 12th
Wow.
most played
Yeah.
song that they've ever played.
Okay, Why go? Again, this reminds me a little bit of Guns N' Roses, the intro and the chorus
Oh,
effect
really?
on the bass, yeah,
Why-
and the wah on the lead
Why
guitar.
are you suddenly obsessed with Guns N' Roses?
I'm not obsessed with Guns N' Roses at all. Obviously, I'm a fan, but I'm a fan of this too. But if you listen to the instrumentation, okay, in the intro,
What?
and
Guitar, bass, two guitars,
yeah,
bass and drums.
but the two guitars. So you've got chorus on the bass,
Yeah.
yeah.
Big bass
You've
drum
got-
sound.
You've got a wah on the guitar, and you've got
Yeah.
the interplay between the two guitars. It reminds me. I can't help it.
But they got it from Aerosmith,
Oh yeah,
and before
Yeah,
that
yeah.
the Stones,
Yeah,
and yep. The drum groove's great.
Yeah, go
Brett,
back
you
and listen
you
to
a fan of that?
listen to the bass drum, because the sound, the openness of it, and what the bass is doing is wonderful on this song.
cool,
Wonderful.
That's a new descriptive word you've
Wonderful.
Well, I keep going genius, and
got, Brett.
I'm trying not to do what I always do.
Yeah. Okay.
Wonderful it is.
I'm going to get you a thesaurus. You can have a
A
look
what?
at it.
That's a dinosaur.
Was he in Jurassic Park?
Why would I
I'm
want one of
going to
those?
get you a book with some words in it, alternative words, Brett, and you can have a little read before we do podcast.
That'd be boring though, wouldn't it? If I got it right.
Well, you can pronounce them.
What?
Oh dear. There's loads going on guitar-wise in the verses of this.
Yes, and it
Isn't
sounds. I think it actually sounds quite funky.
Yeah.
It's like funk guitar.
Yeah,
parts.
yes.
Cool.
There is a funky little clean kind of thing going on.
Yeah, go on. Sorry.
I'm trying not to just talk too much, but I know it's a
You
podcast.
ain't succeeding so
Yeah,
far.
we need to
But
watch
it's,
your time
it's
there.
good though. I'm enjoying your knowledge, Rick.
Well, do you know what this song's about?
First time you ever said that, Brett.
Mm.
Yeah, it didn't sound genuine, did it?
Sorry, I yawned. I don't know why I yawned.
I do.
Go on.
It's about a girl who's unjustly committed and sent to a mental institution.
Yeah.
Doesn't belong there. And then she's questioning why she should go home if she's been sent there by her own mother and
Yeah.
doctors and things.
Oh, okay. So it's why go home as opposed to why go to an institute.
Yeah, why should I go home? Why leave here?
I've got to say, there's a line in the second verse. Eddie's delivery is just spot on. Where it is, and that relates to what you've just said. She's been diagnosed by some stupid fuck.
Yeah.
The way he.
Oh,
the
we're
way
going to
he
end up
sings
with a
that.
little symbol by the podcast now you've done that.
That's okay.
Usually it just says may contain
We have
Brett.
to do that. May contain traces of nuts. Oh dear. The riff between the verse and the broken down chorus.
Yeah.
Do you think it's got a bit of an even flow feel?
Yes, I
to
do.
it?
Yes.
I really do. Yeah, which is great when you get those little themes running through. an
Yeah,
album.
well, it makes the whole thing sound
Cohesive.
cohesive, coherent, like a band.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool bass line in the second chorus.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know. You probably didn't pick up on that.
I did.
You did. Good.
Yeah.
I think
I'm
it's
just trying
another-
not to talk about every tiny
and the
detail.
harmony vocal as well that comes
Yes,
in and out.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
really lifts the melody out.
I love a harmony. I think it's Stone Gossard.
You don't
in
hear
this,
a
or
lot
is
of
it-
harmonies.
It's him when it's a different voice.
this.
There's some Eddies, but there's not layers of them, is there?
There's
Which
more
is
than
nice.
one Eddie.
Wow. It's mostly Stone Gossard, I believe, doing the backing vocals,
Cool. I like that.
which
That's
is
good.
nice.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's-
My favourite vocal moment is the repeated "Why go home?
Oh, okay.
Why go home?"
Mm.
Because it's just gets it across.
Mm.
Track 5, Black.
So this is I've really connected with this song.
I like it a lot.
And I don't know why, but I've listened to this album a lot recently because I know we're doing this.
Oh, I know why you have, because we're doing a podcast on it.
Exactly. But there's
Does it stand out?
sometimes and I'm not, I know I take the piss and I laugh and people laugh at me, but sometimes you hear a song and you
We're not laughing at you. We're laughing with you.
With you.
but you really
We're with
connect
you.
with something, and I don't know why I have connected with this song, and it's the melody It's the melody in the verse and how he delivers it, but it's also what happens musically at the end with those. And can you play it, Rick? Play those notes at the end.
I knew you'd ask me to play
Because do you know what it is? And I don't know why, but as soon as I hear those notes and I hear how... All right, that's enough.
Oh, sorry, I was just going to play
It's like it starts as the piano sort of starts to hint at it, doesn't it? And then
Yes.
the
Oh,
guitar,
yes.
and then the vocal.
build.
But when I hit, and it sounds really quite, but I can't listen to it without tears streaming down my face.
Oh.
And I don't know why.
Brett,
I have no idea.
Did it happen when I played it? What about if I sneak a little bit of this out? Does this work? Do you get a little teary? Oh, I can if I really. Have you seen?
Yeah.
Well, what's it about? Do we know?
Yeah.
Can you
Well,
tell
I
me?
have an idea.
I don't know, and I want to know why it clicks an emotional thing.
It's about relationships, isn't it? It's about the turmoil of a relationship
Yeah.
that's breaking down in a world where things aren't always. It's the most emotional song I think on the album.
is.
I think so, yeah.
And have
But
you,
I think that's
of
why it
course
gets you, Brett, because the
and
subject matter and
Yeah, of course.
the way that he conveys his lyrics.
Even
is-
thinking about it makes me. And I think it's because
Yeah.
I've gone through shit recently, so maybe it's that. Maybe it's a subconscious thing that when I hear it, certain stuff at the minute that. But this song, more than anything, has really had a big thing.
Yeah.
on me.
Yeah, I'm with you, Brett, on this.
It's a very powerful song.
The lyrics. I'm going to say. Don't use this word often. It's perfect. The lyrics are perfect.
The delivery is just the.
His delivery, you can't fault it.
Although you can top it almost with their unplugged version of this, where the way he sung that on the famous MTV Unplugged.
Yeah, I'm going to go back and listen to it now. I've done the album. I didn't want to do it before.
Oh, you've got
before the album.
I watch that so often, and it's great. Did you know that was filmed long before Nirvana did their Unplugged one?
Was
Did
it?
you know that? Yeah, way ahead. Like a year.
Yeah, no, I
year
knew
ahead
that.
of
I knew that because it came out before.
There's a line. All I taught is everything in this.
All I taught her was everything. Yeah.
That I don't know why, but that when I hear that,
Because
that
the
gets me.
big line, the line that everyone's fixated on, including me, is that I know someday you'll have a beautiful life. I know you'll be a star in somebody else's sky, but why? Why can't it be? Why can't it be mine?
Yeah.
That I think the delivery, the intent, the meaning, the band, the passion, everything is. I don't have the descriptive words for it.
Can I do something drum geeky wise for 2 seconds? Because I think this is people won't acknowledge this. Maybe they will. But there's the thing with drumming where there's whispers. We talk about whispers on snare drums,
Yeah,
and when
I
you
knew
have
you'd pick
when
up
you
on this.
have a song like this, and how drums can convey that emotion. If you play this groove without the whispers, so it's really simple like that. Okay, and then you put the whispers in on the snare drum, and how it changes everything. So you go.
Yeah.
And those whispers that move with the bass and the melody is something that I connect with a lot. So I wanted to get that across, and I'm being really serious about this song. I'm not. I'll go back to being myself in a minute, but there we go.
I'm completely with you, but I think there's so many amazing elements to this song. Even Mike McCready's Hendrixy guitar lines throughout the verses, the fact that the verse is in E major and it changes to E minor from the chorus, with that brilliant Jody you picked up in this harmony where you're in. Hang on, I've lost my guitar. Right from there, so your verse is all in E major, then you get C major coming in, then the chorus is in E minor, DC.
Yeah.
That changes so many fantastic.
I think you can listen through to this song and just listen to one instrument or the one vocal, and they get it. Like each band member gets it.
Yeah.
You know, they get the song. If you listen to the bass playing, I listened through last night. And I just listened to the bass playing, and it's just his movement and his interplay with Eddie is just brilliant. And the way he fills the spaces that are there to be filled, but it's never in a show way or anything other than
for the song,
giving
playing
the song.
For the song. Yeah.
It's an absolutely outstanding
Stone Gossard
song.
had written this long before Eddie Vedder existed.
Did he wrote the music?
Yeah.
So
It
Eddie
existed.
came in and wrote the
It's got a
vocals.
title which I'm ashamed to admit I've forgotten, but it was called Ballad One or something. You know, it was better than that, but it was something like that.
So let's lift in the mood a little bit. Rick, where is it on your chart?
Yeah,
Where does it
that's
reach
my
in
question to you two. Where does it? How, as far as Pearl Jam's songs
I'm
played
going to
live?
say it's in the top 10 at number 7.
Ooh, Brett.
8.
Good guesses. 5. Fifth most played Pearl Jam song.
Yeah,
ever
I'm not
live.
surprised.
Yeah,
It should be number 1, really. It's outstanding.
Oh yeah, I would be annoyed that the gigs I went to and they didn't play Black.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah. Okay, we're going to move on because we're
Yeah,
running
sorry.
over here.
Yeah.
Track 6, Jeremy. 12-string bass in the intro.
Amazing.
Brilliant. The bass
Amazing.
throughout this song is outstanding.
And this is
intro, outro.
Definite
brilliant.
Jeff Ament song. He wrote. He was the main writer behind this.
Was he?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
I'm not
yes,
surprised. It's just brilliant.
Yep.
I can't say enough positive things for his playing on the album, but this song in particular is
And
just
what
like
a unique sound as well. Not just
Yeah.
what he's playing. A 12-string Hamer, which I presume you've got an order, Jody, because
Oh yeah, of
good.
course, yeah.
yeah.
But it's like a how to write a bass part if you
Yeah.
listen through to the bass in this song and how it grows and how it builds at the end, and yeah, absolutely outstanding.
And not only that, for Brett, I've only noticed recently there's a cabassa in the verse.
There's a
Panned hard right,
tambourine
isn't
in the chorus.
Wasn't you playing it? Was it Brett?
No,
He was in Spain, wasn't he? With
I was with Dolly.
shaking Dolly,
Shaking
a
the
lot of
cabassa.
Dolly.
Oh my
Yeah.
lord!
Shaking Dolly. I love the. Jeremy is their biggest song. Am I right in saying that?
Who's Jeremy?
No.
No.
Well, I told
thought
you
it
what the
was.
biggest, most streamed song is.
Yeah,
Even
but
Flow.
I'm not talking about streaming. I'm talking about.
But what are you
because-
talking about?
Well, Jeremy it was nominated for 2 Grammys.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see what you mean. We're talking most award.
It won
Later-
4 awards at the MTV.
But wasn't a
Video
lot of that
Music
for the video? I was
Awards.
going to say it's for the video. It's very, very.
So the video. This is Eddie. They had the song. Eddie Vedder came in, and this is all what I've read, what I've heard. He came in with a newspaper, and there was an article in it about this kid that went into class and,
Jeremy Wade Dell.
put the gun in his mouth and. Yeah.
But
So
in the
this is a
video it was
dark
taken
song.
out, wasn't it? The video was taken out. The gun in his mouth was taken out. They
Yeah.
weren't allowed to do that. So people got the idea the song was about someone coming in and killing their classmates as opposed to themselves because
Yes.
it wasn't that specific.
It wasn't as clear. Yeah.
And it was a rare thing to do a music video for this for the band because they famously refused to let Black be released as a single. They fought it and wouldn't do a video for it,
yeah.
to the extent that Eddie Vedder kept calling up radio stations to check the record label hadn't been sending him Black because he didn't want it to become. Oh, there's sorry, I'm going back a song. I shouldn't do that. There's a famous quote by his about some songs are too fragile to have visual images put to them, and I've got
Yeah,
the
I
quote
think
slightly
he's
wrong.
right.
Yeah.
And he
I
didn't
think
want
he's
anything
right.
taken away. It's too personal, too fragile.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be turned into
But
a power ballad.
I mean, we've talked about it in the past when you're doing a video, is that sometimes you don't want a visual representation of something that means one thing
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
want to put that suggestive
Yeah.
into other people's heads.
Yes.
So I get that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
get that.
Well,
But
we have enormous trouble fighting with our label, don't we?
That's basically fighting with each other. Yeah, this is a great song. Jeremy is a great
And
song.
a lot of movement in the tempo, which I love.
Yeah,
Especially
it's
for the intro
definitely
again.
it's a
one of those-
live band, isn't it?
Yeah.
Again, it's a live
Yeah.
band.
Yeah.
That build where the drums come in and then you feel the tempo is shifted from the intro, but in a positive way.
And what
Yeah.
great harmony! The kind
Yeah.
of the it's an it's kind of A Mixolydian verse, isn't it? And when it gets to the chorus, we get F J, then F G, and then into A major.
Yeah, and then in the second chorus where the bass hits it doesn't go to an F, does it? It goes up to a. I don't think what it was.
C?
A.
A.
I can't remember. But the bass hits a harmony note on that first on the first line.
I know the bit
What-
you mean. I can't think what
You're not
exactly
expecting
that,
it. But again, that's just
And the little high arpeggios that up there
Yep.
again in the
Yep.
yeah.
And then the outro is like a different thing altogether, isn't it?
Oh,
How it builds into that.
builds.
And how
And-
iconic is Eddie Vedder's? Up to that point, I might be wrong, but yeah.
The offbeat ooze.
Have you ever heard anybody else do?
Well, he sounds like an owl, doesn't he?
What?
He's not an who, it's a who. But
But they're on the offbeat to the
yeah,
groove.
yeah, but it's
that's
it's
what
just-
makes
it's
it.
brilliant.
Do you
Yeah,
think
yeah.
it's a Who thing, a Who reference? Is that
It
what
could
you're
be.
saying? Like, who are you? Well,
yeah, well, it could be, you never know.
It's changing.
It's like,
Oh, it's like having
having
a-
Pete Townsend.
It's like
in
having
here,
a
isn't it?
pissed Bee Gees in here.
My falsetto was woken up.
Morning falsetto.
Morning. Morning.
That's one of my favourite. I haven't got a favourite vocal moment on Jeremy because I love all of it. I think
Yeah.
he's great, but I do like the who's at the end.
I do because it's so unique. You might have ruined it for me now. When I think of you two sounding like a.
Can I put a special? I'm not going to say a vocal moment, but special mention goes to the bass at the end. The bass outro.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
really good.
Yeah, yeah.
And
It's a classy thing.
is.
I was
Use
going to
of,
bring
like-
my bass in, but I kind of thought if I do it on a 4-string, it's gonna.
Yeah.
You're going to want a 12-string.
well, you've got to wait for that Hamer to come, and then we can add that in there.
Okay, track 7.
Oh, do you want to know
Oceans.
where it? Have we done where it comes in the most
Oh no, where did it come
played
out?
live? Where does it rate?
I reckon it's number 3.
I think Brett
Good
might be
shout.
right.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's number 6.
What?
We haven't
Number
got one
6.
right yet, Brett.
We haven't.
No, but you're close. You're in the ballpark.
Okay, moving on. Track 7, Oceans.
I love this.
Change of pace, change of feel,
Yep.
There's a vocal bass relationship in this song, which I absolutely love.
fretless bass. Is it fretless, Rick?
I think it is.
Sounds
yes,
fretless
yes,
to me.
Yep. Yes, I
Again,
think it is.
Jeff
Sorry.
Ament pushing
I
things,
was briefly
doing
turning my
things differently.
amplifier off because I presume you two wouldn't want to hear me play this.
A personal favourite part of this for me, Brett, is the timpani drum.
Yes, I've got that written down on my little notes. And I've written it. I don't know if I've
Don't delete your notes.
whether I spelt it properly or not.
What have you written?
Big timp orchestration.
Oh, look at that.
And I even said it correctly.
Would you like to know something about the drums and the timps in this, Brett?
You're going to tell me?
Well, no, if you say no, I don't want to know, I won't tell you.
No, I want to.
No, well, you've ruined it now.
Please tell us.
Okay.
I can replicate a timpani with
God.
with my snares
Go
off
on, go on,
and
Brett.
a soft beater. Oh no, I can't. Forget that.
Oh, you just sound.
Is this how
One
you got
job.
kicked out the orchestra?
One job.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on a minute. I can.
Oh, no.
I'll do it on the floor, Tom.
Oh, I love that,
This
that
better
it
be
took you
good.
like 30 seconds. That's it.
There we
Yeah,
go.
lovely. Yeah.
I like how it took you quite a few seconds to work out that if you did it on a different drum, it would work.
Oh, brilliant.
Did you want to know? Or shall I?
Yeah, go on,
I
go.
heard a drummer joke this morning. What?
Go on.
Hang on, let him get it right.
Get
'cause
this right. What do you call a?
Oh, God. Here we go. You're going to get... I know this is going.
I forget it. It'll come to me in a
This
minute.
isn't about the man and the breakfast, is
No,
it?
Is this
it's not.
about porridge?
It's really made me laugh this morning. It was top 10 drummer jokes.
Okay.
It'll come to me in a minute. Keep talking. I'll have a quick
So
think.
they recorded drums with this, and then they put the timps on afterwards. They were listening to the playback, as the story goes, with the drums muted, and everyone went, prefer this.
Wow.
So the drums are in there. They muted them.
Yeah.
And cut them from it.
Yeah.
And left the timps there.
That's
which I think works. And
that is interesting.
As a change of mood for the album, I think it's brilliant.
Yeah.
It was released as a single, but not in the US.
Really?
Yeah. And do you know how it's written? This is a really interesting story if you're geeky like me.
No.
So Eddie had got locked out the studio when they were recording. He put in money in a parking meter or something, and he couldn't get in the door, but he could hear the band sort of running over it, and they were running through this. They were rehearsing this, or they were, whatever they were doing. But the only part he could hear was the bass. So it's interesting you said the bass and vocal relationship,
Yeah,
Brett.
yeah.
Because Eddie got a scrap of paper out of his pocket and wrote the lyrics to it outside in the rain while the band were in the studio, waiting for them to take it to stop playing. When they stopped playing, he was hammering on the door saying, "Let me back in, I've got locked out." And he came in, and that was how the song was written.
No way.
That's
and if
really
that's
cool.
not true, what a great story to make up.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And what can I
Very
say? Something
cool.
else I love about it.
Yeah.
It's about harmony. So I know you two are just have a little nap, both of you, then I can say it. That it's modal, isn't it? Very modal. We've got a D major mixed in verse.
That's
And
just
then
what I was thinking. I listened to this.
The
thinking this is
Lydian
really
mode in the
modal.
chorus. That's why it sounds so
Modal?
Modal. See Lydian in
Go
the
with
chorus.
it, Brett.
never mind,
Yeah,
I am.
yeah.
Lydian and
definitely.
modal.
All right.
Definitely.
Makes me happy.
The best vocal moment on this one? The haunting high falsetto notes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Barry Gibbs back.
Can you do your Barry Gibbs, Brett? You got.
Oh, God, why does that sound so creepy when you do it?
He's mixing stars only because you got the and
all you now is a bit of Bruce Forsyth again. Came on, and I'll be all right.
Where does this
Oh my
one come then?
God.
Track 7. Where does it?
Oh, God, before we do that, you like your random musical references. Like, do you think it sounds like? Brett, you're
Yeah.
not going to get this one. Sorry. The guitar, the first chord you hear in the guitar, which I've unplugged my guitar, I can't do it. Sounds like the same chords in "Stop the World" by Extreme. Can you hear that, Jody?
Didn't get
That's
it.
the most obscure reference
get it.
I think I've
Yeah,
ever
it
heard.
is.
Okay, right. What
Okay.
number?
What number? I reckon this is going to be something like 12.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
Brett.
17.
59.
Wow.
59th. So not played massively often live, but
No.
played live.
Track 8, Porch.
Right. Do you want to do where it's played live? Because this is quite interesting.
Go on.
How often? What do you think?
This is going to be quite high then, isn't it?
Oh, because I've given it away.
Yeah, I reckon
Ooh.
this is number 8.
Brett.
4.
Third most
Wow.
played
Wow, really?
song live by Pearl
Wow.
Jam.
No
And
way.
Pearl Jam, Brett.
There we go.
Yeah, I didn't really connect with this one. Really.
Do you know?
don't
I love the opening line to this.
man.
What the fuck is this?
Yes.
Just as soon as he comes in,
I
with
didn't,
that,
I didn't
just
understand
drew
what
me in.
the lyric was there, Joe.
I just sort of
Go on.
Well, he's given us a little mark by
Give it.
may contain nuts already.
What
so
the
don't
fuck is this world?
There we go. You got to say, you
Yeah.
got to deliver it. It's there to be delivered, isn't it?
Got to own it, haven't you, Brett?
Got to own it, like my falsetto.
Yeah.
That's more Dolly Parton than Barry Gibb, Brett.
Oh.
Oh,
Do
Dolly.
you not think?
So this one didn't connect with you,
not
Brett?
really.
Well, can I try and
Become-
convince you of something that would make it connect? Maybe a little bit more, Brett, with the guitar?
Mm.
It's not going to work, but I'm going to do it anyway. That I think this is a classically sums up Pearl Jam's this thing. Pearl Jam's kind of chord
You
thing.
mean Pearl Jam? Or
No,
Pearl
I don't.
Jam?
Pearl Jam's with an apostrophe. Way of going. Where's Eddie Vedder's way of doing this?
Oh, yeah.
Of course, and then he'll go. So he's moving a chord shape round. You get
Yeah.
interesting voicings or harmony by doing that. And I think it's a brilliantly explored road that Eddie Vedder has done since then.
Yes.
And it's classic Pearl Jam. It's very Who doing that. You know,
Yeah, this-
Pete Townsend loves
I was
that.
going to say that this song really reminds me of the Who. There's so
Well, I
much.
can see for miles and miles. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
But and if you listen to the bass, it's really John Entwistle inspired, I think.
Do you know what I thought when I got to this track?
Yeah.
From listening to it in order, and this is not taking. I'm not taking away from the song, but I get to a point where I start thinking that there's a great relationship between the bass and the drums, and the groove is brilliant. But it becomes a little bit like, I don't want to say monotonous, but it's like, oh, I've heard this before.
Oh, really?
Do you know what I mean?
I
No.
think I think
I like the sound.
It starts to sound a little bit jammy for me from this
There's
point
a-
as an album.
there's
but
a
not
jam
as a song.
element to
Yes.
this song. But I think
But there is
almost
on
that-
all of them, isn't there?
that relationship between the bass and the drums and the interplay almost reaches a climax
Possibly,
in this song because it's so busy.
yeah.
There's a great little guitar moment in the end of this where he's playing high up major arpeggios. I thought you'd like it, Jodie, because it almost sounds like. No?
Slash.
Yeah. I thought I was convinced you were going to bring it up and say, oh, it sounds a little bit like Sweet Child of Mine at the end.
Didn't hear that.
Oh.
Joe,
I
your
dropped my
camera's
line.
moved. Just let you know.
Oh.
Shall we move on? Because
Is
I
that better,
know
Brett?
Yeah.
I've been. So, Garden. Now, for me, I'm going to. Because I've
9,
been
this is-
over the
hang on.
top positive.
Track 9.
Track 9. Garden.
Bit of rim click on this, isn't there?
Yep.
Love a bit of rim click.
I'll be slightly
leave
worried
that
when
there.
you. Yeah, all right. Garden and Deep are my least favourite songs on this album. I'm going to say that and get that in there because I've been overly positive so far. So just for balance.
Yeah.
Are we saying that it's not an album of two halves? Are we? We're not saying that at
It's
all.
not an album of
but
two
it
halves.
does tend to start to just drift a little
Yeah.
bit away from
I
it.
think you're right. I think it whenever I listen to this as a whole, my focus and concentration drifts when I get to track 9.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get that.
I start to lose my way a little bit with it, but
That's part of
There
the
are-
attention span on your part, isn't it?
yeah, partly. Yeah, but there are. If I went and listened just to this song,
This is a
there's
bit.
loads of bits that I love about it.
Yeah.
It's slightly, Jeff Buckley's Grace is very slightly reminiscent of it, do you think? Different tempo, but there's a little bit of that in there.
It's a bit of a jam for me.
The
This song.
chorus on the guitar in the intro.
Yeah,
Everyone loving
yeah,
that?
yeah.
The outro's a bit reminiscent of Jeremy. There's
Yeah.
some,
I like this song. Do we know what this one's about? This for me is it's kind of questioning existence and kind of the societal norm.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But I quite like the way that it kind of evokes defiance, like his what am I trying to say? I think his delivery. So as part of the album, I'm losing it by now. But when I listen to it on its own,
Yes.
I quite like the way that the way he sings it makes me feel the kind of like an uprising.
Yeah. And I get that from listening to Porch before on its own. It's like,
Yeah.
but as an album, you just start to.
Yeah.
I love Porch.
Cool.
What number, how in the rating of when it's played live, how often?
Garden. I reckon this is going to be something
76.
Like, no, it's going to be 27.
It's somewhere in the middle, 36.
Ooh.
36th most played Pearl Jam song live.
Okay, track 10. Deep.
Eddie's voice in this is just brilliant, as always.
It's a nice feel change, like with the time signature. We're in threes now. And we've come away from the fours.
Yeah.
And there's a bit of slide guitar in this, which again, I think the classic blues rock sound is kind of like a bit of Aerosmith vibe about that.
Yeah, there's some wah on the bass,
Yes.
I think, in the
Is
intro,
there?
isn't there?
Ooh, might be.
I think it's wah on the bass.
Ooh.
This one for me has got a real jam session kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Especially to the intro.
Yes. Yeah.
Love the lyrics, and I love Eddie's performance,
great
as with everything.
Yeah.
Where he doesn't like the view. Yeah.
I think for me, this is the one I was most disconnected to musically. Eddie's performance and the lyrics draw me in, and that keeps me going. But like the music, I can shut off to. It's not. It doesn't grab me as much. This one,
I can accept that. I'll let you have that.
But there's some great vocal moments in it. The scream, you hear the scream that goes. It's just after 2 minutes, and he builds up to it. But then it works really well because musically it actually drops after the scream, and then goes into that kind of the breakdown middle.
Can you think of many singers that have that ability, that rasp in their upper register?
No,
along with the richness in their baritone.
Yeah, well, the baritone we'll talk about in the next song, because I think that's really that's almost the warmest his voice.
Well, should we move on? Should we guess how often that's played live?
Deep.
How where it rates in
54.
the top songs? Okay, Brett.
83.
25th most played song live.
Pretty popular live then.
Well, yeah, and it's Eddie, of course, who writes their set list, isn't it? He so famously does that.
Okay, so track 11, the last track on the album, Release,
which is the most played song live.
Oh.
I'll add something to this in that they start with this song more than any other song. Okay, they favour a slow start to their set.
She's in 6/8, isn't she? She's a 6/8 groove.
Yeah, and she's female by the sound of it as well.
I'm going to go with number 9.
Brett. Number 9.
I was making reference to the Beatles there.
Oh, I thought I was in a Chinese restaurant there for a minute.
Oh no, not no! I know what you're going to say now.
Go on, Brett. Say your favourite number.
Oh, 16/8. No, 70.
It's 31st most played Pearl Jam song. But the one I think they've played first more than anything
I think
else.
it's fair to say, Brett, we both failed at that game.
No, you weren't far out.
I failed at all of them, to be fair. Good game.
Yeah.
Not really. I failed. Sorry, Bruce.
No, Rick.
Well, just for clarity, Bruce Forsyth, not Bruce Springsteen.
I don't. Yeah.
Bless his soul.
So I was just saying about Eddie's baritone.
Bless his soul.
Bruce Forsyth.
Oh, okay. I was going to say
Springsteen.
He's
all right.
Good. Okay.
Going strong.
Ooh, yes.
Eddie's the lower kind of part of his range in the verse of this is incredible. That he,
do you know what
the timbre?
Do you know what it reminds me of? And I don't mean this in an insult whatsoever, but something I thought when I listened. No. You know a didgeridoo.
Oh God.
No. Listen, because it did. There was a connection with it when you hear what a didgeridoo.
You're comparing Eddie Vedder's voice to didgeridoo here, aren't you?
There's moments where I hear Eddie's voice, and I think when you hear like a yes.
What is wrong with you?
I'm not saying that in any way that
I'm sure he's never heard that before. It's not a positive. Good job you never meet him.
It's just it came to me, and it's not an insult whatsoever. It's just there's a tone that he has that. Anyway, carry on, Joe. Sorry, I want to say what I think.
Sort of ruined it a little bit.
What these podcasts are about.
It is. No, you're right. Let's
This song for me sets up their future quite well, and this sounds more like Eddie Vedder's output from later output in this song than anything else on the
I
album.
agree with that.
And the range he's singing, the way he's singing, and I sort of know that he improvised the lyrics to this. So what's recorded is improvised. He never ever wrote the lyrics down to this song and still hasn't. And did you know, there's a boring little fact, that while Hal Leonard produced their guitar music tablature notation book for this, it never had the lyrics in it because Eddie didn't want the lyrics written down. He'd never written the lyrics down. It has now, but apparently at the time, it didn't. Because just to go in line with Eddie, he never wrote the lyrics down to it. He improvised them and never wrote them down anywhere.
I couldn't help but think as I listened to this at the end of listening to the whole album, he favours the long held notes, doesn't he?
Yeah.
In chorus sections, when you think back to even like Alive, you've got that the long held note part of it, but it's sort of a bit of a trademark, isn't it?
And again, the lyrics are about his father. Maybe that's why. Yeah. Maybe that's why it sounds, that maybe it's a little bit more personal, perhaps, and he's improvising it, so it's a bit more, straight from the soul. Don't know. The ending of this is obviously what we talked about at the start. How much do you love an album that ends how it starts? Does it make it?
I do like that. I feel it comes full circle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
what do you think's going on with that? Do you think that's something they did as a bit of an experiment, or do you? Because it's not a song as such, is
No.
it? You know, it was never going to be a contender for the album. Do you think?
Do you
they
remember what
recorded
it's called from the start of this podcast when I informed you of that? Brett, come on.
Do you know what? I forgot, Rick.
I thought you might. Master Slave.
Master Slave. That's right.
And so what have we learned?
I feel like we've been on
Nothing.
quite a long journey since then.
Yeah, and we've learned nothing.
This- I
I've
think
learned
this
that I
could
want to
be-
call my hamsters.
Hamsters?
Yeah. Which you said those two. Mode and Lydian.
What are you on about?
Was when you said that. I
You
thought
haven't even got hamsters.
Modal and Lydian.
No, modal. Lydian is a type of
Lydian,
mode.
let Modal get on the wheel.
No, modal. Oh,
When you said those
you're
two
getting
words-
wrong. You're getting wrong.
When you said those two words.
I said Mixolydian and Lydian.
Yes.
And I've probably said Dorian at
No,
some
you said
point.
modal and Lydian in the same
But
sentence.
that Lydian is a mode. You can't say modal and
I
Lydian.
love that's what you
when you
remembered
said
from
that,
this podcast.
when you said
When are
that,
you getting hamsters?
I don't know, but when you said that,
Why
I thought
would-
if I got hamsters, I want to call them
Why
modal and
hamsters?
Lydian. I don't know.
What's made you think of
It wouldn't work with
hamsters?
guinea pigs. I think.
Oh
if
my
I-
god!
Just
Is this a didgeridoo thing?
just before this is the longest podcast we've done.
What he's gone on about didgeridoos, Bruce Forsyth, hamsters. What is? Are you having a breakdown?
Eddie would be proud of me. I
don't think he
Yeah.
would.
He would.
Okay, I'm going to ask you, and I don't think you're going to give me a good answer or a straight answer. What's your favourite track on this?
Oh, you know mine.
Can you?
Can
so
I
you're-
go for two?
I'm going to go black just because of the.
Brett's going black.
Just because of how it. I could first for everything. Just because because I've never. I don't know.
Oh, no, it's going to have a different label on this.
I don't know.
I've got to go back. I can't decide.
I'm going to say if you had to, you know that thing of like if
Yeah.
you had to play something to
Summon a
someone,
song, yeah.
you'd probably play them even flow to sum up the band.
Yeah, that's
maybe.
what I was going to say.
Ah.
Even flow.
But I'm my favourite now when I listen back, and I had to play. I'm only allowed to listen to one song from this. It might be Black.
yeah,
Yeah.
black or even
That's
flow.
a good way of thinking of it. You're only allowed to listen to one song again from the album. What is it? Ever? I think it'd be
Ever.
Black.
Black. Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
There we go. We agree on something.
Brilliant album.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant.
Really enjoyed
album.
this. It's been really.
I love
Yeah.
this. I love this band. I love Eddie.
I love Eddie.
I love Eddie.
It's
I-
our favourite songwriting thing, isn't it? When we get stuck.
Do you remember when we were trying to find album titles very quickly with the old band and
No, you just cut across us. That's absolutely fine.
Oh, did I? I'm sorry. Just very quickly, and we had a whiteboard. We had a whiteboard, and we would be like, "What would Eddie do?" Do you remember? That's how
what I was
much
going to
we love
say.
it.
Yeah, well, it's a mantra to live
This
by.
is-
I think.
this
What
is-
would
yeah.
Eddie
What
do?
would
Quite
Eddie
often
do?
when
Yeah.
we're writing, if we're stuck,
What would Eddie
I know
do?
what it'd have
It's like
done
a
today,
phrase.
Brett. Is kicked you out of the band. Going on about hamsters and didgeridoos and
Oh,
Bruce
that's a bit
Forsyth.
harsh.
I don't think he'd
I think he would have appreciated my
I
timpani.
think he has more
Yeah.
integrity than that.
hey Eddie, I really like what you're doing, and that sounds like
Like a didgeridoo. Makes me think of Mick Dundee.
G'day, Mick.
and then
Shoot the dopey.
That's what he'd say. Shoot the dopey bastard.
Oh, should we leave it?
Note,
Thanks for listening.
Please check out our band, Damn the Wolves.
find us at damnthewolves.com and please follow us on all the usual socials.